Hello, how's it going? It's Lee here and we are on another walk. It's an impromptu walk. I've got the afternoon off and I thought, you know what, let's get out. So I grabbed the camera, got the drone in the bags, might get some drone footage. But I've come out to Steeple Arch Lane. So I did a walk here a couple of years ago, heading up the High Peak Trail and round past Harbour Rocks. This time we're going to go up to Black Rocks, head up to Bole Hill, then head through the plantation back to the tops of the High Peak Trail and basically drop down to High Peak Junction. We'll see what time it is when we get there. We either come back along the Cromford Canal or we might just come back up the incline back to the car here. I think it's going to be about 5 miles, not too far. I've actually knackered my knee up, so anything sort of over 5-6 miles at the minute is causing a bit of pain, so we're going to keep it fairly short. So we are off and it's a lovely day. It's a bit chillier than I thought it was going to be. I think it's about 13 degrees, so first time at the back end of the year I've got the gilet out. Got the you can see the trees are starting to turn now, got these golden browns and oranges in the leaves. So here we go, Cromford Moor Mine. I believe this started in the 17th century and went all the way up to the 20th century. But there's all sorts here. I think this was one of the shafts. I think this is 420 foot deep. Actually goes down into lots of lower workings. God, it'd be mad to go down there now, wouldn't it, and have a look around, see what's still down there. I think this was possibly an engine house. If you look up, you can actually see where it was originally a circular design. Some ironwork up there as well, going up. So this must have been, yeah, this has got to have been the chimney, hasn't it? So Middleton Tops, 1.25 miles along the trail there. They've got the National Stone Centre, and then yeah, down the incline there, 1.5 miles to High Peak Junction and the Cromford Canal. So Black Rocks has been well visited beauty spot since the Victorian times. The rocks and the Forestry Commission woodland offer spectacular views and quiet and easy walking. Couple of original marker posts here. I love how they're really maintaining this. I think these have been recently painted. At the back of these Black Rocks we're going to go up to shortly, there was a quarry which I think was called Edge Quarry, and there was also a tram line that went from that quarry down to the High Peak line to carry the rock away. And I think this might have been it here, going up the hillside. I've never been able to properly identify. You can see a lot of spoil heap all around here. This was all waste from the mining activity that took place from the 1700s. As you can imagine, you get a lot of climbers on Black Rocks. It's that perfect grit stone, nice and grippy. You get quite a few accidents up here as well though. You'd have to be careful. Look at the view opening out. Got Middleton up there. This is your Dean Quarry. We'll go right up to the top. Might get the drone out and show you how incredible the views are. So we'll make our way up here. Let's get. Look at these views. Some of the best in Derbyshire, these. Wow. Look at that. Down to Cromford down there. Wellesley Castle. And you've got Matlock all sprawling in the background there, and obviously Uribe Castle. Oh wow, it's just brilliant. I'm very lucky today because there's nobody else up here at all. I've got the whole of Black Rocks myself. Right, let's head back down. We'll go and check out this Barrel Edge Quarry. It's in these trees here. So yeah, we're just going to come up here and then loop back round to that Barrel Edge Quarry. But already you just get a sense, a feeling that this isn't natural. You know, these trees probably wouldn't have been here in the 1800s, and all this rock is probably spoil heap from that quarry. So here we have it, Barrel Edge Quarry. There's not a great deal online to find about this. We'll make our way down this path here. Well, straight away, I mean, look at that, there's a building there. Well, a pile of stones at very least, but they are scattered all around. Now, what was that for? Was it, could have been maybe a crusher for the rock, or was it one of the buildings for the quarrymen? Who knows? We'll go down and have a look, explore, see if we can see anything else. So here we go, having a closer look at that. Is it a building? Oh, here we go, a little bit of lump of iron. There must have been something. Was it a wheel that turned? I've got no idea. You can see a couple more. There's one over there as well. Look at this shelter here. That is pretty well made, that, isn't it? Easy to have a good night's sleep in that. Maybe someone's still around here. I don't know, it's a bit creepy to be fair. Look at this, was this, looks like a huge millstone. More of these stone pillars, more buildings. Oh wow. Just look at this place, another one over here. Let's make our way over. Yeah, it's mushroom season at the minute. In fact, I'm surprised we haven't seen more. Another huge millstone here. Some etchings in, can't quite make them out. I think a lot of this stone, I think, was used to build the Cromford mills just at the end of the Cromford Canal there. Not 100% sure on that, but I think it would make sense. It's fairly close, isn't it? Carry it down on the canal there. So we're now on Cromford Moor, heading up to the Trig on Bole Hill. This is a beautiful place, this Cromford Moor. I feel like it's not really a hidden gem, but you know, we're not in the Peak District, we're just on the edge. And there's so much to see around this area. This is like something you'd get up near Derwent Edge, you know, the sort of gritstone, sandstone. There you go, you can just see the Trig stood on its own on the top of that Bole Hill. Spectacular views up here. You'll notice in Derbyshire, in the Peak District, there's quite a few Bole Hills around. And I think it used to be a place where they used to smelt lead. Bole was like a type of furnace, and obviously a hill, and it was very primitive in the medieval times. I think they literally just used the wind that would blow up the hill to power the furnace, and that's where it gets its name from, Bole Hill. It's a Trig. So we're going to leave the Trig and then head in this sort of easterly direction into this tree plantation, and then just head down to the top of the High Peak trail and loop over the top of it. I've already seen some incredible mushrooms on this walk. They are everywhere. These unusual ones. Right, shall I take them home, cook them for tea? Probably be dead in the morning, knowing my luck. So we're leaving the main woodland at the back there, and this is almost like a bit of an extension. And I remember coming through here years and years ago when all this was just starting to grow. You could see for miles because these trees were only saplings a couple of feet tall, but now look at it, really starting to take hold. So we're leaving that particular part of the woodland. We've met this track and we're going to turn right and head down here for about a quarter of a mile and come off and head through those woods. Now it'll be interesting to see if there are any trees down, because we had Storm Amy last weekend. I don't think it was too bad down here. I was actually up in the Lake District. It was pretty bad, yeah. It was, we had a cottage that was on the edge of Whinlatter, and all these trees were at the back of the cottage sort of swaying in the wind, and we were like, oh yeah, we thought we were going to get bloody crushed at one point. There's a few fallen trees here, but these have been here a long time, because I know this route quite well. And yeah, these aren't victim of Storm Amy. So at this point here, we're going to take this track right, adjacent to the fields. But look at the view here. Well, we'll see them better when we get down there, but you can see Cliff Quarry in the distance and Crouch Stand over there. Look, you see that for miles around, can't you, that Crouch Stand? I think this is Holloway over here. Hello. Hello. All these bulls. Hey, hello. Hello. I don't know if you've noticed, but there seems to have been an absolute explosion of acorns this year. There are literally thousands of them. Looks like this route's part of the, I think that's the Mid-Shires Way. And you also got the 4 circuit walks connecting this part. We're at the point now where we're hugging the tops of the High Peak Trail, which is just down below there. And that's the big incline, and at the back you got the A6 and then the Cromford Canal, and you got this big grit stone rock just sat in the side of the land. Let's go and have a little climb on this thing. So almost near the High Peak Junction now, and that was where the railway met the canals. Now I'm not going to go into too much history because there's tons of videos on YouTube. Just over here you got Leewood Pump House, and I think that's a bit of an aqueduct going over the Derwent there. But yeah, it's a fascinating place, Cromford. One of my go-tos from wanting to get out, clear the head. So much history around here, but I've decided we are going to go up the incline. We'll not bother going along the canal. I'm going out tonight, so we need to get back.
But there was a couple of engine houses going up the incline, one about halfway up and then one right at the top that used to haul the wagons up. There's several inclines all the way on the High Peak Trail. This house on the left, it's got to be Georgian, that, hasn't it? The size of it. High Peak Junction. A railway link in the canal network, High Peak Junction. So the Cromford High Peak Rail was an extraordinary line with a special place in railway history. It was one of the world's first long distance railways, planned before steam locomotives were widely used. The new railway linked the Cromford Canal with the Peak Forest Canal at Whaley Bridge, 33 miles to the northwest. It was built to plug a gap in the national waterway network. This is the last created and a crucial link between the coalfields of Derbyshire and Nottinghamshire and the developing industries in and around Manchester. I love looking at these old pictures. Look at that one, 1959, the double track there. The old wagons and the winding drum, the original, and the gears. It's fascinating. I'm not quite sure what this was for. I don't know if it was for holding water or perhaps, I don't know. If you know, put a comment down below. Right, we're going to be hauling some ass up here. This is one steep climb all the way back to Black Rocks. Just on my left here, this is the catchment pit. If wayward wagons came loose, the idea was that they'd go smashing into there rather than down at the bottom and try and save a couple of lives in the process. Here we go, the catch pit. Runaway wagons sometimes occurred on the inclines, could reach up to 120 miles per hour. In 1888 there was an accident involving a brake van carrying gunpowder. It's funny, as you're coming up this incline, a bit further along you've got Cromford with A6, but the A6 takes a sharp right and you wouldn't believe that Matlock Bath's down there. In fact, you can just see the cable cars at the Heights of Abraham, and then this slope here, that's actually High Tor with a mast on it, but from this angle you wouldn't think it. I think this was the location of the first engine house here on the left. They needed to, because this incline was so big. Oh, here we go. Yeah, the lower engine house, constructed in the 1820s. It was too long for the haulage chain to operate a single winding engine at the top. Oh, look at that, another great picture there. The double track going up the incline. If you look up this side embankment there, right at the back, that's that big gritstone boulder that we were on earlier on, roughly about, I don't know, about half an hour ago when we were looping over the tops there. So this is Sheep Pasture Engine House. Built in 1828. That's it, the walk's all done. About 4 or 5 miles that was. Did it in under 3 hours. Absolutely fantastic. I'm back here at the Black Rocks car park next to that Cromford Moor lead mine. Thanks for watching if you stayed to the end, and who knows, if I do decide to do some more videos, I'll see you on the next one. Cheers, bye for now.